Welcome to Super Showdowns, the ultimate destination for epic battles and legendary showdowns. Join us as we put iconic superheroes, villains, and mythological figures against each other in thrilling matches of strength, strategy, and skill. The cosmos is a place of infinite wonders, but it is also a realm of unparalleled destruction. For eons, the forces of creation and annihilation have danced their deadly waltz. It was on a day of ominous portents, beneath the crimson skies of a collapsing star system, that two of the most destructive forces in existence began their journey toward an inevitable clash. Mangog, the embodiment of a billion souls' hatred, had returned to the Marvel Universe. Odin, in his arrogance, had once sought to erase an entire race, but their hatred endured, coalescing into a single, monstrous being. Mangog's hatred burned hotter than any star, and his strength rivaled the gods themselves. Banished after his last rampage, Mangog had drifted through the void for millennia, his fury festering. Now, he was free once more. Asgard had fallen in the wake of Ragnarok, leaving the Nine Realms vulnerable to new threats. Mangog's roar echoed Asgard, searching for a new target to unleash his vengeance. The death of Odin had left a power vacuum, and Mangog reveled in the chaos. Each crushed realm only fed his unrelenting hatred. The gods have failed, and the time of Mangog has come, he bellowed, his voice shaking the very fabric of space-time. Unbeknownst to Mangog, his path to destruction was being observed from another universe. In the DC multiverse, Brainiac, the Collector of Worlds, had been studying interdimensional phenomena. A rift between dimensions opened as Mangog's rampage intensified, and through that rift, Brainiac detected something of great interest. Pure, unbridled hatred and power unlike anything he had ever cataloged. But Brainiac's actions were not unnoticed. Hidden deep within a shattered Kryptonian laboratory, the ultimate killing machine stirred. Doomsday, the apex predator of destruction, had been in stasis after his last battle with Superman. His body bore the scars of countless battles, each one a testament to his ability to evolve and overcome. When Brainiac's experiments with the dimensional rift reached a critical point, the energy surge reawakened Doomsday, who immediately broke free of his restraints. In his rage, Doomsday tore through Brainiac's ship, destroying countless artifacts and research in the process. Yet, Brainiac's data on Mangog was enough to pique the monster's primal instincts. A being of pure hatred and rage was an irresistible challenge to Doomsday, whose only purpose was to destroy the strongest opponents he could find. With a guttural...
Hey you, don't just watch. Subscribe please.
Doomsday leaped into the dimensional rift, hurtling toward Mangog's location. In the Marvel Universe, Mangog stood atop the ruins of another destroyed planet, his hulking form illuminated by the dying light of its star. He sensed the disturbance in the air before he saw it, a swirling vortex of energy forming in the skies above. From within the vortex emerged Doomsday, his massive frame crackling with residual energy from the dimensional journey. The two titans locked eyes, and the universe seemed to hold its breath. Mangog, towering and grotesque, radiated hatred so potent it was almost tangible. Doomsday, a living embodiment of destruction, was silent but no less menacing. For a moment, neither moved, as though the cosmos itself were acknowledging the significance of this encounter. What manner of creature dares challenge Mangog? The behemoth roared, his voice like thunder. Doomsday responded not with words, but with action. With a deafening crash, he leapt from the vortex and slammed into the ground, sending shockwaves rippling through the ruined landscape. Mangog's lips twisted into a cruel grin. Here, at last, was a foe worthy of his wrath. But their collision was no mere coincidence. Unbeknownst to the combatants, powerful forces from both their universes were watching with bated breath. In the shadows of the DC universe, Darkseid observed through a boom tube, intrigued by the potential of harnessing Mangog's hatred to fuel his anti-life equation. Meanwhile, Thor, sensing the disturbance across dimensions, prepared himself for the worst. This was not just a clash of titans. It was a meeting of universes, a collision of forces so powerful that the very fabric of reality trembled in anticipation. The battlefield, a shattered husk of a planet, bore witness to the first blows as Mangog and Doomsday charged at each other. The ground cracked beneath their feet, and the air was filled with the sound of their roars. The stage was set for an apocalyptic battle, one that would echo across dimensions and determine which force of destruction reigned supreme. Mangog's hatred burned brighter than ever as he swung his massive fists, each blow carrying the weight of 1 billion souls. Doomsday, undeterred, met each strike with his own, his adaptive physiology already analyzing and countering Mangog's attacks. As the stars dimmed in the sky above, the question loomed. Would Mangog's unyielding vengeance overcome Doomsday's relentless evolution? Or would the beast who had killed Superman add another godlike being to his list of conquests? The answer would be written in the ruins of worlds. The battle began with an earth-shaking roar as Mangog charged Doomsday, his enormous fists raised high like a hammer of the gods. Doomsday met him head-on, his hulking form leaping into the air with unnatural speed. When their blows collided, the impact sent shockwaves rippling through the planet, shattering its already crumbling surface and sending debris hurtling into orbit. Mangog's fist struck Doomsday square in the chest, the force cracking the ground beneath their feet. But Doomsday didn't falter. Instead, he retaliated with a bone-shattering uppercut that sent Mangog flying backward, carving a canyon through the broken landscape. "You are strong," Mangog growled, rising from the rubble. His yellow eyes burned with rage as he spat blood and dust. But strength alone is nothing against the hatred of 1 billion souls. With a feral snarl, Mangog unleashed his full might, charging at Doomsday with the fury of an unstoppable storm. His fists moved like battering rams, each blow landing with the force to level mountains. Doomsday absorbed the strikes, his body adapting with every hit. His gray, rocky hide grew thicker, and the jagged bones protruding from his form sharpened, becoming razor-edged spikes. Doomsday counterattacked, launching himself at Mangog with blinding speed. He drove his spiked fist into Mangog's torso, tearing through the beast's thick skin and leaving trails of black, viscous blood. Mangog roared in pain but refused to yield, grabbing Doomsday by the neck and hurling him across the battlefield. The ground erupted where Doomsday landed, but he was already on his feet, charging back at Mangog. The two collided again, their blows creating shockwaves so powerful they tore apart the atmosphere of the planet. Oceans boiled away, and tectonic plates shattered under the force of their battle. For hours, the two titans clashed, their raw power reshaping the world beneath them. Mangog grew stronger with every passing moment, feeding on his own hatred and the devastation around him. But Doomsday was adapting, his body evolving to counter Mangog's every move. Mangog summoned all his strength for a final, devastating strike. He raised both fists above his head and brought them down with the force of a collapsing star. The impact drove Doomsday into the planet's core, splitting the world in half. But when the dust cleared, Doomsday emerged from the molten remains of the planet, his body glowing with the heat of the planet's core. His jagged spikes had grown larger, and his eyes burned with an eerie red glow. He was no longer just adapting, he was thriving. Mangog charged once more, but this time, Doomsday was ready. He sidestepped the attack with surprising agility and drove his spiked fist into Mangog's chest. The force of the blow punctured deep into Mangog's body, and for the first time, the beast staggered. "You dare!" Mangog snarled, blood dripping from his mouth. Doomsday didn't respond. He grabbed Mangog by the head and slammed him into the ground with such force that the remnants of the shattered planet began to disintegrate. Mangog roared in defiance, but Doomsday was relentless. He pounded Mangog into the ground again and again, each blow stronger than the last. Mangog's hatred-fueled strength began to waver as Doomsday's relentless assault continued. The embodiment of a billion souls' vengeance was now being overwhelmed by a force that could not be stopped, could not be killed, and could only grow stronger with each passing moment. In a final act of desperation, Mangog summoned all the hatred within him, unleashing a devastating energy blast that lit up the void of space. The blast struck Doomsday head-on, consuming him in a blinding explosion. For a moment, Mangog stood tall, his chest heaving with exertion. "You cannot kill hatred," he bellowed. But then, from the smoke and fire of the explosion, Doomsday emerged, his form charred but unbroken. His glowing red eyes locked onto Mangog, and with a roar that shook the stars themselves, he charged forward. Doomsday's fist connected with Mangog's chest, shattering his ribcage and sending him sprawling. Before Mangog could recover, Doomsday delivered a final, crushing blow to his skull, driving him into the remnants of the planet. The light in Mangog's eyes faded and his body fell still. As the remains of the planet crumbled into space, Doomsday stood victorious, his form bathed in the glow of distant stars. He let out a deafening proclamation of his dominance over yet another godlike foe. For the first time in eons, the embodiment of hatred was silent. Doomsday had triumphed, proving once again that he was the ultimate force of destruction, a being whose very existence defied the natural order. But even as Doomsday drifted into the void, his mind empty of all but the instinct to destroy, the seeds of his next battle were already being sown. Somewhere in the multiverse, another challenger awaited, drawn by the echoes of his victory. Doomsday would fight again, because for him, there was no end to the destruction, no end to the war.